Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. I thought I'd do like a little bit of a talk on how I became a writer, because a lot of people want to do that with their lives. Lord knows why. A lot of people enjoy writing. They enjoy, books and fiction and just poetry and everything else. And you can go to school for that stuff. You don't have to go to school for that stuff. It really depends on what you want. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about because I kind of haven't done that on my channel. I've done lots of other stuff, but not how I got into writing. So um, I started writing because I didn't want to be a musician, like a working musician anymore. I was getting tired of the bar scene, getting tired of the coffee house scene. Wasn't really going anywhere because we kind of live in a small Colorado city that doesn't really have a whole lot of opportunities for that sort of thing. And, the other passion that I've always had in life was writing. I've always liked telling stories. So at this point, 12, 13 years later, I've published somewhere in the range of 30 to 35 short stories, poems, nonfiction pieces. I've published a few short story collections. I just recently published a novel, which I always advertise at the end of this thing, the God's Body thing. Good book. Buy the book. Good book. But there's there's an infinite number of ways to go about starting a writing career, and the ultimate thing, the first most important thing, is that you write. Kind of seems like a no-brainer. May not be a no-brainer to everybody though. You got to write, and you got to write a lot, and you got to write every single day for a long time, and I mean that. And if you're not writing, you need to be editing. You need to come up with concepts. You need to make those concepts happen. And I started with short stories. A lot of people start just with novels, and they take off from there, and they don't stop until they got one of those bad boys published. Either way is okay, I think. I think most established writers would tell you start with short stories, but that doesn't have to be the case. That's how I started. I learned how to tell stories and short stories, and then I moved my way up to books. Another really good thing you probably should do is find a writing group, like a really, really, really good writing group in your local area is probably preferable, or even at school. If you're still at school, finding a writing group that way is good. Like understudy humanities, undergrad writing classes can be really, really beneficial. I did a bunch of those. I found an online writing group, which kind of became my main group when I was just starting out. It's great to come up with a story, tell it, give it to people, have them tear it to shit so you can see what you did wrong, and then you can fix it and get better. Because writing is not about drafting, writing is about rewriting. That's the thing you really have to get good at. Learning how to rewrite the things that you've already made. It's really, 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 really important. So I did that for 5, 10 years. Slowly but surely, I started getting things published, little stories and little nonfiction and poetry things here and there. And then I made a really, really, really big decision, and I decided to go back to school for MFA, Masters of Fine Arts, in creative writing. And I went to Gunnison, Colorado, to Western State Colorado University because they had a MFA program in genre fiction and popular fiction, the kind of stuff you get off the news rack. Yeah, science fiction, fantasy, horror, pulp, even romance. I studied romance. Why not? And to tell you the truth, that was a great experience for me. I learned a lot. I grew a lot as a writer. The only real thing about getting an MFA is that it's kind of designed for teaching. It's kind of designed for, the intention is you're going to go on and maybe get a doctorate and you're going to be a professor. And that's not really the way that I went. But, takes all kinds. I just wanted to become a better writer. And Actually, this novel that I just published, God's Body, was my thesis novel. I had to write a novel for the thesis, so that was a really good experience. And the main thing is to just keep plowing through, just keep working, learn to handle rejection. Your stories, whatever you're making, it's no good unless you actually try to publish it. Get it out there. Publish it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to publish. Get it out there. Show it to people. Get it in the bloodstream. Get it in the collective unconscious of fiction reading, poetry reading people everywhere. And you're gonna get hit a lot. Like, you're gonna get rejected only all the time. It never really goes away, even for people who are like bestsellers and stuff. So it doesn't. It's a thing. It's a thing you got to get used to, and it allows you to rethink things. And yeah, it hurts. Rejection does hurt, especially at first when you're not getting any other kind of interest in what you do. But it's necessary, and at some point you'll grow to love it because you'll see that it helps you become better. You know what I mean? And the most important thing is that even if you feel that you need to take time off, and I'm the kind of writer who's all for taking time off. I've had, like anybody else, I've had hiccups in my life. I've had down times. I've had periods where things were maybe not so much going my way. And it was really important at that time to take a break. You know what I mean? But the important thing is that even if you take breaks, even if you're not working for long stretches at a time, that you still come back to center, you still work. Keep creating, keep making. Don't ever put it away forever. Because I promise, if you've been working at it this hard, this long, you're meant to do it. I promise. Your heart won't have it any other way. Have you ever tried to deny your heart something that it really, really wants and it just feels like shit? Have you ever done that for decades at a time? I don't recommend it. I've never done it. When my heart wants something, I go for it. Even if I don't get it, at least I don't have the regret. Ugh, I hate regret. So that's my advice. If you're just starting out or if you want to get into it, work. Start right now. Start writing whatever you can. Make your stories possible. Know that in most circumstances it's going to take you some time. 99% of the time it's going to take people a while, years, to really get to the point where they feel like, okay, I'm stable, I'm working, I'm getting published regularly. It takes time. But look, if you want it, you want it. Don't deny that you want it. Don't deny your heart. Go after it. Even if it sucks for a while, even if the rejections pile up, it's worth it. It's totally worth it to tell stories and entertain people and give them something they've never seen before. That's a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's all I got to tell you. Until next time, like and subscribe to Jeff Bull Central. We do video games, we do music, we do movies, we do writing, just everything that I love in the whole world. Ah! I don't think I've ever made that noise before. I'm proud of myself. Anyways, like and subscribe. Cheerio! Also, do me a favor, check out God's Body Book 1, The Fall, on Amazon.com. That's God's Body. This is my new novel. It's like a story of the apocalypse. It's like God and Satan are fighting and then there's this massive, and then the big. Anyway, it's a really good book. Help a guy out. Check out this book. Also not disappointing. That much I can guarantee. God's Body, Amazon. Hee.